Good afternoon, everyone. Robert here again. Well, today a customer of mine gave me a call this morning. He's got a 2015 Dodge Ram 1500 5.7 Hemi. He says, man, I'm leaking coolant. I smell it. I see it dripping. So I think it might be the water pump. Well, he was right. That's a little hard to see now. It's cooled off, but when he brought it in, there was definitely coolant running off of the water pump there. You can see all the nastiness there. And I was checking it out. I was like, man, I keep hearing something like hissing. So I got to looking, and you can just barely see it, but there's a crack in this seam right here. You can actually see it in the light where it has some slowly leaking. And he had mentioned he thought he could smell coolant, but couldn't really find anything. This was one of those tiny little leaks. It's actually right there. You can barely tell. Coming out of that seam and just barely dribbling down is why you could smell coolant. But today it appears the bearing went out in the water pump and it started shooting coolant everywhere. So the radiator, water pump, belt, coolant, etc. Pretty straightforward setup. The water pump has a lower radiator hose, heater hoses, thermostat housing, the pulley. It's pretty basic, so I'm gonna get to work. I don't know if everyone knows this or not, but believe it or not, an air hammer is the easiest way to spin off these fan clutches. I ordered this long bit. I don't remember exactly, 16, 18 inches, but when you have these nuts like this here, you can get onto it. Kind of hard to hold the phone and work one-handed, but bear with me here, people. I'm trying. Just like that. And now the fan will spin off. Of course, you know, the fan clutch is cooled down, so the clutch ain't grabbing a whole lot, but you get the gist of it. No having to get a wrench and try to hold the motor and all that stuff. This is the fastest, easiest way to take a fan clutch off. Okay, well, here's a little tech tip. These trucks have two fans, electric and a mechanical. The bottom half of the fan shroud does come off. It's got a couple of little tabs that lock in. It basically just sits here like this. Two tabs on the sides, up here and one there, two from underneath. Once you undo that, you can get past the mechanical fan. The electric fan and the fan shroud, you'll have to pull them up together. You'll have to drop them back in together. Quick update for any of you who haven't seen one of these water pumps in the truck before. With the fan shroud off, you can see everything. Our lower radiator hose, it's just a squeeze clamp, heater hose, pretty basic. There's a bracket here, holds these AC lines, 13 nut. The serpentine belt is held on by a spring-loaded tensioner. The bolt is a 16 millimeter. It is just a 3/8 drive, square. If you don't have one of the tools, you can always just use a ratchet for ones like this. Nice and simple, it's quick, effective, gets the job done. For these squeeze clamps, I use one of these. They work pretty good on the squeeze style clamps. The little cup goes to that side and the little U-shaped piece goes to this side. And then they're just like a pair of pliers. You squeeze them and you can rotate it. Works just like that. And that's what it looks like with no water pump. And yes, there's a lot of bolts. All of those bolts for the water pump. This one here was the one that had the nut for the AC bracket. The two long ones are down on the lower radiator hose. The other two are the thicker part. The two medium length ones are the thicker part. Then you got the little outside ones. You got two on the right, which are the thicker part, and then your outside ones. So it's not super hard to tell. These are obviously your really long ones. This is like your, I think it's a studded one. Then you had your medium ones, which were here. You had a bunch of little ones. This is actually the top of the water pump. So it's little. There's actually a hidden little one here that you can't see. It's not too bad. Just take your time, lay your bolts out, pay attention. You'll be fine. Okay, the temp sensor off of the other water pump I took off before I took the water pump off, just to make it easier to break it loose. I've already got the gasket in place. It's just the rubber style, it just lays in a groove. Really simple. And here's another tech tip. That little bleeder piece, it's like a little piece of brass, like a little button that pops around in there and just shakes around and lets the air out. I always cut that thing off and get rid of it. This is a OEM thermostat. Honestly, it's a lot better brand than some of the Chinese crap you're going to get from the parts store. This thing is actually made in the USA. I don't remember where it said it at, but right there, USA. So I'm going to put this one back for now. If it gives me a problem, I'll go get one from the parts store, but I'd rather run a better one myself. Another thing, that little bleeder hole, the way these sit, see how it sits at an angle? I always put the bleeder up to let as much air out as possible. Makes it easier to get the system bled back out. That way I got less air trapped in the water pump. Okay, water pump's all back together. Lower radiator hose, the 2 heater hoses, thermostat housing. Coolant temp sensor is tight and plugged back in, which the little red thing pops up, and then you can push the button to release the latch if you was wondering. I went ahead and sprayed everything off with some brake clean, trying to clean up all the pulleys to minimize the squeaking of the belt. Time to work on the radiator, which now this plastic piece here comes off. And then you can see that the AC condenser is attached to the front of the radiator. That side slides in. This side has a couple of bolts, look like 13s. So what I was going to do was take the main bolts that hold the radiator in, which are 13s, out, tilt the radiator forward, take a gear wrench, and try to get to those 2 13s there to separate the AC condenser from the radiator. Remove the radiator, drop the new radiator in, tilt the radiator forward or towards the engine, and slip the AC condenser back in on this side. You can see how it slides in, and then put the upper and lower bolt, which would be the passenger side below the cap, back in. Tilt the radiator back towards the grill, put the 2 bolts in, one here and one here, which are 13s, and then lower radiator hose, fans, shrouds, upper hose, coolant, belt. You get the gist. Okay, well, I was wrong. That is actually 12 millimeter bolts, the 2 holding the AC condenser to the radiator. So just a quick update. One other thing. These 2 lines have a 10 millimeter bolt between them. Okay, then these 2 lines have a 10 millimeter bolt. Both of those bolt to the radiator. You have to undo both of those, the 2 12s, to get the AC condenser transmission cooler to combo all in one off. This is it installed back onto the new radiator. Time to put the rubber grommets in. For some reason this one didn't come with new rubber grommets, so I'll have to take them off the old radiator, just slide them into the little slots, run the 2 13 millimeter bolts back in, and hoses, fan shroud. Okay, quick update. Radiator's back in. The 2 outer 13 bolts are tight. The mechanical fan, I spun it back on by hand as far as it would go. Then I used the air hammer to tighten it up. The opposite direction, to use the air hammer to loosen it. This one happens to be righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. You know, nothing crazy. Right? Nope, sorry. This was the opposite. It was left-hand threads. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm saying. The electric fan and the fan shroud, you drop them both in together. They both hook into the same spot. The bolt goes through and holds it. The bottom two wings don't have bolts, only the top two wings that hold the electric fan and fan shroud. And just like movie magic, it is all back together. Truck is running. Temp looks like 161. Tran's still warming up. It's all back together. New belt, new water pump, radiator, all that good stuff. Got the coolant inner topped off. Well, if you like my videos, I wish you would please take the time to comment, tell me how you do yours, what you think I could do better, give me some ideas, tell me what kind of videos you'd like to see. Just reach out. Even if you just want to say, hey, I'm in this state, I got the same truck, had the same problem. So please like, subscribe, share, comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. Have a good day.